Hey guys, welcome back to another game with Link C. This is another fight from the Colosseum where the Total Rage Makers are defending against the B Battalion. The B Battalion is a battalion covered with... Oh boy! Oh boy, that Greek ballista was burnt up really quick. Oof! The B Battalion knows what's up. The B Battalion knows what's up. Instantly taking out two ballistas without any shots fired. That's really cool. Siege towers placed in front. The Arverni know what they're doing. So we have Galatia, Arverni, and Carthage in the attacking with the B battalions, whereas the Nabateans, Spartans, and the Boyai are defending. This is a beautiful settlement. We don't see it that often. Honestly, I haven't seen it in a long time. There are some light horses in the rear. So as far as I remember, the capture point is here, which does mean that you could beeline for it attacking this side, but that does leave you open to being flanked from these various locations, and there are arrow towers here. This is not ideal to hold the front, especially when you're being attacked from two flanks like that. However, holding this center plaza location and holding over here and here creates a really good kill box. So especially with this arrow tower there, and holding this gate is always a good idea as well. Veteran spears, Celtic bowmen, sword followers. So it is a very defensible settlement, and a settlement that will take a lot to take down. Scutarii and Samite warriors, Gallic warriors for Carthage, and reserve has noble fighters, more Gallic warriors, Cretan archers, and more Samite warriors, and two noble fighters. That's really good. Carthagine onager over there. Again, I would never really get the onager when I'm attacking. Always go for ballista. Does better. But then there are two giant ballistas over here, which they're using to try and breach the wall. And you kind of need the ballista to be able to breach the wall in this when attacking barbarian settlements. But at the same time, as we were saying that, I didn't understand giant ballistas, because these walls are relatively easy to take down, and normal ballistas do more than enough damage. Now, what do we have here? Sparta has got quite a bit of hoplite units, as you would expect. Apparently, hoplites are a very unexpected, unit, since they do tend to perform way worse than Spartan hoplites, and their armor is slightly down. They do have a little bit more morale, so there's that. More Spartan hoplites back here, and then Cretan archers and Rhodian slingers. Then we have, of course, Nabatean heavy archers, which are a fantastic unit, and Nabatean X-Warriors, Desert Hoplites, Armored Desert Hoplites, more X-Warriors. So it seems there is quite heavy armor penetration force for Nabatea, and then they have some Hoplites to hold the line. And they're honestly doing well going against Carthage. Now, killing 10 of those guys is good and all, but I would rather wait for these siege towers to come close and then do the damage then. Swordsmen are in position, they're walking in, the breaches have been made, two breaches over here and over here. They are not to be contested. Again, this is a decent enough gatehouse to hold two Spartan units over there and one Spartan unit over here. You could have done marvelous damage, but of course with the assault of these Galatian legionnaires it will be very difficult to hold, especially with the support Galatian legionnaires, Galatian swordsmen and chosen swordsmen into the rear. Celtic warriors and levy freemen are moving in. The giant ballistas trying to aim and see if there are troops holding that location, as they probably are not seeing the defense as it is right now. Moving over here, they still have their... I'm keeping an eye on that light horse over there, as it's gonna be interesting what they do with it. I've never actually seen an assault on the city from this side, because even if you win, then you have to cross this or this bridge, which leaves you very open. But if you do take this settlement from this angle, it is quite a feat, and it just prolongs the siege so much longer. If you're doing a 4v4, maybe 3 attack from here and 1 attack from here, providing a little extra oomph. There should be a version where this bridge is actually intact and there's a small gatehouse over there, or there's no gatehouse at all and it's a possibility just march in against 2 arrow towers. Who knows, maybe the I wonder who actually watches my channel might make it happen. Actually, oof, those sword followers, they are not having fun where they are. They are really not enjoying it. Oh wow. Yeah, the horde is pretty much coming at all costs. They are doing a lot. Syrian heavy archers coming in will do heavy damage. If this was Attila, these buildings will not last long. Veteran spears can hold the line for a decent amount of time, but that is of course limited on what they can do. These Galatian legionnaires are coming this way, trying to wheel around these shields, veteran spears, and push back, because taking that apologies for the yawning there, sirs. Taking that gatehouse with oil there, it basically pushes the line of defense quite deep into here. I mean, you could always just, form an angle there, but then archers up here will do damage that you cannot really deal with otherwise. Cretan archers scrambling to get into position to deal with the charge of the Galatian legionnaires, and if they get a really nice side volley, they might do damage. The veteran spears moving in at the wrong time, they're getting speared by those Sparta needs to fall back at this point, needs to fall back to this area, and Boyai needs to fall back to these areas, because they're getting sandwiched 3 assaults on this beachhead of over here, this peninsula formation. Mercenary Gallic warriors charging into these peripheral hoplites, and Sparta is being assaulted from every which direction, and pielas are being thrown, spears are being shaken. These veteran spears are being absolutely mauled to that. They need to start falling back as quickly as possible and find a better defensive position. I mean, Nabataea's position has been completely ignored, and they should perhaps take this opportunity to perhaps charge out their noble cavalry. They should have brought in an extra unit of cavalry to charge out here and do damage to, they only have a Iberian cav and the generous bodyguard. These Cretan archers would not do well. Then again, these Samite warriors over here, they could be doing serious damage to them if they fire properly, but I think the ammunition is almost out, and their aim is not the best. Nabateans over there are just trying to hold the line. Gallic warriors are now being charged by a Spartan hoplite shield wall, and the Spartans should be able to win without much fault. These sword followers should attack those Galatian legionnaires, and meanwhile these Spartans should start falling back. And in fact they are. These Cretan archers are not doing very well. They're getting assaulted by these Gallic hunters, which are dealing insane amounts of damage to the Cretan archers over there, pushing them back once more. These Celtic bowmen unfortunately are overlapping, which means they're not going to get really good shots, and keep in mind that 7 units of Galatian melee units are going to surround this island. Yeah, they should have recharged that Galatian legionary unit over there, and that would have broken it in an instant. These Celtic bowmen are having to retreat. More sword forwards are being pushed forward, and the reserves have been pretty much used up already. And the bombardment, oh wow, really good bombardment shot over there, just enough to start dealing a little bit damage, and mostly to the morale, but it does do damage. Nabatean exports are trying to whip around these Gallic warriors over there and do damage. Sparta is desperately trying to hold off this beachhead, because in this area they can do damage, but of course that is limited to what they can do. And Pericles spears here being pulled back from this choke point, which is not a smart idea. Spartan pikemen perhaps should be going to that choke point. The Boyai are indeed going to fight to the death here and try to do as much damage to Galatia as possible. Galatia is now suffering a little bit of arrow fire. The arrows are not firing in a proper angle. They should be firing towards these Galatian guards over there. It seems the attackers have the upper hand. They're absolutely nailing this into the ground, and there is no mercy being shown. The B battalion stinging like a cataphract. The B should be impressed with itself. Doing very well over here, I must say. The defenders are putting up a mighty defense, yes, but every answer they're providing, every solution they're providing, the attackers have an answer for it, and they're not being as afraid to show the fact that they do have solutions. Nabatea needs to pull its troops back, either that or sally out, wipe out Carthage from the face of the earth. and whip around over here and start killing the Arveni Oathsworn units and Chosen Swords. It can do that. It has to choose either stay and fight at the end or else pull back, because the Spartans are getting absolutely annihilated. They are all in the wrong positions. They were out of position with their archers. They allowed the invasion of Arveni and Galatia with no resistance possible. If they had archers over here, these units would have been melted. These Cretan archers are getting oof. The hell happened here? It seems artillery is now not on fire mode anymore, but these guys are getting so many kills and they're doing so well. Spears over here pulled back from the skirmish with the Chosen Swords. Chosen Swords killing over 100 already, and Sparta is being pushed back. Nabatea is also suffering some casualties, and at this point it definitely should assault, but it is not doing so. It seems it's decided to fall back and hold the ground. Nabatean heavy archers returning fire to these Cretan archers down here, but not being very effective about it. These veteran spears, even though they were absolutely annihilated, and the more shooting of these Gallic hunters is doing damage. The Gallic hunters are being targeted down by the Celtic bowmen, so they are not living for long. This is the first small victory for the defenders, managing to take out a full unit of archers. I would say at half ammunition rate, but still, it's a very small victory considering the losses they are taking. But yeah, I mean the 180 kills. All of these killed a unit at the least, if not more. Meanwhile, the shield walls over here trying to hold desperately. This Spartan hoplites should have fallen back. They should have fallen back to this location. They needed to be in a place where the archers would not have been outfired, honestly, because at this point they're being whittled down. The reserves are being whittled down as well, and it does not look pretty at all for the attack for the defenders. The attackers, on the other hand, Galatia is pretty much still in full force. I do not understand how this could last another 2 minutes, but then again, this is the beauty of Rome. Stubborn fighters can do a lot. The onager, Carthaginian onager, is inside the settlement, and one decent shot can break both of these. A couple of decent shots, I would say, can break both of these, and they are indeed firing. They're not using flaming ammunition. It does have flaming ammunition. It should use flaming ammunition, but at this point the Spartan hoplites are broken. Pericles spears are down to a couple dozen men over there. These sword followers are also collapsing, and the line is being pulled back a little too late, I must say. Very little too late. These Samite warriors are dealing the damage over here, fighting Nabatean axe warriors, and there's not much left that can be done. There's still some Scutarii on the siege towers, which I believe they will move into that formation over there, and it will be the end of it. The defense is falling back as much as it can. There is damage being done to these level 3 men, which are on a burning tower, and next arrow, yes, these guys are being burnt down alive. If the defenders, the attackers do not notice this, they do notice this a bit too late, but they do get off the wall of the siege tower there. Veteran spears here, 105 melee defense, but they were overwhelmed. Meanwhile, the sword followers are trying to do their best, but of course there's only so much you can do when you're surrounded by Galatian legionnaires and Galatian swords and being fired at into the rear by the Syrian heavy archers. There's still mercenary Cappadocian cavalry out here. The defense is not in a good place at all. I am sorry to see this happening as it is. Oh, these Rhodian slingers are gone. 119. They got 77 kills, but still, these archers are being used to great effect. Now I would like to see what happens when the archers do run out, because the defense do have a lot left that is to hold the lines, and when the archer fire runs out, I mean, these Cretan archers still have some ammunition. These Gallic hunters should be running out sometime soon. They do not have the damage necessary. There is still a Carthaginian onager over here. There's a very thin line of defenders holding this, and then there is a Spartan pikeman over there, the Oathsworn unit, ready to charge wherever necessary. Sword followers fighting Galatian legionnaires, and this sword follower unit here holding them for a long time. This siege tower did burn down, and that is absolutely fantastic. These siege towers are now being pushed in because they realize that they are being burned down slowly, and this arrow tower is doing a lot of damage. These troops need to be pulled here and set, a line set, because these are going to come in. These two units need to this veteran shields needs to come here, protect the rear of these sword followers, and these sword followers need to fall back and create a kill box to kill all of these Galatian legionnaires. Honestly, that is what's needed, a good kill box, a strong enough kill box, and it will do the damage. These Cretan archers are trying to set alight the Carthaginian onagers, which unfortunately onagers are really difficult to set alight as due to the nature of their very existence, but they do run away from it just to be absolutely safe. Archer fire is returned from the Syrian archers, which the Cretan archers are amply trying to dodge as this is happening over here. Carthage moves its final units into place, and Nabatea is trying to answer best it can, but of course there's only so much you can do when you have so little left. They do still have 2 units of pikemen, which will be in. They could tip the balance of power back into their favor if the attackers do not have enough men to overwhelm the pikes, or in certain scenarios to shoot them down with arrows. Now the thing is, pikemen are being pulled back, yes, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, like entrances into the gate. Let's say into the main capture zone. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 at least, and you only have 2 units of pikemen that can only do so much. The artillery is firing in, trying to hit into this rear. The Erogean slingers over here heavily downed, and so are these Nabatean heavy archers, which are out of ammunition and being used as ammunition shock, which is absolutely perfect. Heroes of Sparta are being pulled in. These are the units that you want to pull in when your enemy's army is down to half strength, not when you are. I mean, with the exception of all of them pretty much still have all of their forces. The light horse out here is just running out, trying to do something in the rear. There's maybe perhaps take down these artilleries, which are doing so much damage. The Nabatean troops are breaking as one would expect them to do. Scutari mercenaries are piling into the settlement, and they will do insane amounts of damage. This Eastern onager only getting 26 kills. The Oathsworn is falling back. He is forming a line over there. He did. The Galatian did eventually pull his Galatian legionnaires out of that situation, and I didn't understand why the Oathsworn are being pulled back now. Spartan hoplites holding the line. This is an intense fight. The defense is desperately trying to hold on to what little they have. These Iberian cavalry coming in, possibly trying to burn down the gate. Yes, they in fact are trying to burn down the gates, but this is interesting because them being here, they are distracting the arrow towers from attacking this siege tower, which they need alive. They need to distract as long as possible. And them running around, I mean, they will die, but they did manage to get a couple of volleys away, and this one is only, I think, a few dozen arrows away from being burnt down, and that would slow down the assault over here. Because if they manage to plug this hole, because this is just one giant area to defend, Scutari are getting killed. Scutari are a very expensive unit, and then they plug this gigantic hole over this side. Might be worth it. Might be worth it. I only just leave a small unit back there. This light horse over here is cleaning up the giant ballistas, which are probably very close to be out of ammunition, but it is still a nice win. First few units of actually them killing something. The sword followers over here are being surrounded. Very good move, putting your troops on the wall over there and charging them across on the wall, running them by. More chosen swords are being pushed in. Levi Freeman getting the flank on these Spartan hoplites who are just placed there to die. Oh, why are these armored hoplites taking the arrow fire from this arrow tower? Just burn it down. Push up to here, have one unit engage, have the rest burning it down. It seems Carthage's assault has been pulled back for now. The Scutari, I do not seem that they will live to see the light of day. I mean, sir, these Gallic warriors now. Scutari over here were pushed back and killed. Samite warriors did survive, and it seems the momentum was finally paused for the attackers. Their insurmountable assault that they did actually get, you know, they just pushed. They, Galatia especially absolutely annihilated this area. Galatia is seeing a little bit worse for wear. It did kill a lot, but it did also now seeing in retrospect lose a lot, and it is out of ammunition, which is its key pushing factor. Perhaps this is what the defense wanted to do. They're pulling back to far more defensible position, as I'm saying, to that place over there and over here. Are they playing perhaps for the time? It is still only 15 minutes into the game, 20 minutes into the game, and I don't see them winning this. They need to survive another 40 minutes of this assault. Absolutely insane, because they're so close to the capture point here. They're running out of ammunition. There's still lots of noble fighters out here. Mercenary Scutaria unit. This arrow tower over here is almost burnt. Oh, sorry, the siege tower is almost burnt. Yes, there are like Samite warriors, noble fighters, 2 units of them. There are still units of archers back there, but the Arveni and the Galatian forces are out of ammunition. And there is a pike wall over there, and there is a decent fighting force over on this side. Now the Nabatean cavalry could perhaps charge in and deal some damage, but losing your general is potentially a bad idea in this situation. So we do not know what could be done. These desert hoplites are being lost for free. They should be pulled back, at least out here and here, with, you know, not to lose the few troops that they do actually have. These Gallic hunters, Gallic warriors are dead, but these, yeah, this is a bad trade. This is a very bad trade. 31 of those men, 33 of those men were killed for nothing. Galatian legionnaires throwing their pila into the center of the Spartan wall. Heroes of Sparta trying to add the block chance of this unit, and they're trying to do as much as they can to reduce the damage that the Spartan pikemen take. Pilas being thrown and the Spartan pikemen are going down, but the heroes of Sparta are taking quite a bit of the beating, and these Galatian legionnaires are trying to destroy this pike wall with you know, pilas that they still have. Galatian swords are doing their own thing, but as they're escaping, the legionnaires are getting damaged severely. So it's going to be a battle of attrition down here as well. Honestly, while they're in such disarray, charge out with the remainder of their troops over here. Push them back, don't let them set into formation, because this is what it is. The defenders are playing insanely passively, insanely defensively, but they do not have the necessary force to hold the line. They need to be able to hold the line, and they do not have the strength. The Pilas are ripping these pikemen to trash. The heroes of Sparta need to be moved forward. This is why you did not need to lose all of Spartans, because you could just walk slightly slowly backwards. Iberian cav coming into the settlement. It seems that the cavalry out here was cleaned up somewhere. Was it? Was it cleaned up? It was cleaned up. We lost where it was cleaned out at. But the main force for victory is coming from up that direction, and over here there's a small strike force of Samite warriors, chosen swords over here, which are ready to charge in. These Gallic hunters are being wiped out by the Nabatean. Yeah, these desert hoplites. These are 35 men. The Iberian cav is moving to the other side, and that is opening all of this for an attack. There needed to be at least 1 unit holding the line there. It would be out of archer range. You know, 50 hoplites would have been able to hold this for a long time. But those Iberian cav being there is going to cause some problems. Again, the defense has been very reactionary, not very aggressive, but they seem to have held here for 20 minutes, so let's see what they will get up to. Levi Freeman moving in, more Pila perfectly thrown in. These Nabatean heavy archers over here getting absolutely annihilated. This is what I was saying. They didn't defend, you know, they didn't stop the assault from coming in. They let the assault come to them, and then they weren't in position. Their units are not in position. They still have Thorax pikemen over there, but their archers are getting absolutely murdered, and these Cretan archers should not be in any way allowed to do what they're doing right now. The abuse that is too much, I dare say. Syrian archers are still getting kills. They still have ammunition. They still have volley after volley of death and doom and despair. The Nabatean noble cavalry charges in after this Iberian cavalry, and does get a really good rear charge, annihilating the rear guard of this unit, bringing it down on its knees. These archers are all piled up. It doesn't help your archer block giants because they're not firing fast enough, and their Celtic bowmen are being broken. The pikemen over here down to 93 men, and the heroes of Sparta decide to hold the line on their own. The heroes of Sparta down to 70 men. organizing themselves in Hoplone formation, and they're waiting for that Levi Freeman Pila. Yeah, Levi Freeman are out of Pila, in fact. Okay, Cretan archers and 2 units are gone. There's still another unit over here which has 200 kills, and they are out of ammunition. How are these Syrian archers? The Syrian archers are out of ammunition, except these guys are not. And who else? What else? How much else? How much more pain and suffering? These Scutaria units are just out there protecting. Now it seems it's down to a staring contest. Sparta and Boyai have been... they did not show that much rage, I must say, being total rage makers. Oh, where's my water? They did not show enough rage as much as they should have. And they could have significantly reduced the number of troops present here into something that is much less. But it was not the case. Spartan... Oh, ballistas now. This was a non-stop assault on the senses. These heroes of Sparta being fought. What are these Celtic bowmen doing? No, these Celtic bowmen still have ammunition. You don't want them to fight. Why are these troops being pulled back? Heroes of Sparta being pulled in. The general is pushed in. The Spartan pikeman is pulling in. The Cretan archers came back somehow. 200 kills, 100 kills. Veteran spears doing damage. Capicodian cavalry is inside as well across the bridge. They are capturing all the morale bonus points, and they're doing whatever they can. Capicodian cavalry does take a beating, it seems, and does not die very easily. These veteran spears should charge and fight over here. It would win, because otherwise they're just getting the noose around their neck, tightened faster and faster. And oh my god, the bombardment is ruthless. There is still some reserves, yes, but there's only so much left that the defense can do at this point. They are down to 60% of the balance of power against them. Numidian Heavy Cav versus Capicodian Cav. Capicodian Cav slightly wins in my opinion. Yeah, I mean they have pretty much similar stats, but they're getting charged, and the charge bonus is so important. So important, and it is downhill, so the general for Nabatea is pretty much dead. Unless the Oathsworn unit is helping, but it is not the case. Not the Oathsworn, sorry, the veteran spears help out. I mean, they are engaging, but these Capicodian cavalry are doing insane damage with their initial charge. Better Rhythm has been popped, and that will help if at all. Heroes of Sparta are moved back in. Noble fighters are charged in, and Spartan pikemen are getting into position. Spartan pikemen are the only thing that can possibly stop this onslaught. They need to get their spears down. No, they got charged, and they would get absolutely wrecked. These noble fighters, if they're... I feel bad because these Spartan pikemen deserve to get more kills. At this point, these armored hoplites need to charge and block this location because they are forming the column formation and they're going to charge in. They do see that, and they move the Nabatean ex-warriors in, and that is fantastic. The spears move in, and they are wiping out the Capicodian cavalry. It seems that over here they've managed to hold, even if slightly. The general over there is still alive and well, and with most of the forces. They did win that skirmish, but that could have been avoided. The light horse did make it inside the settlement, heavily damaged, but did make it back inside the settlement. The battle is focused over here. I would grab the rest of the Nabatean forces, either get them across the bridge and start putting pressure from there. There's nothing really to stop the cav from crossing. Get that cav and charge in, suicide charge into this, kill this onager. You could kill those Syrian archers, kill this onager, and just charge in, cause so much havoc. And then with the rest, oh wow, raising the banners, that's a really big raising the banners, increasing the melee attack and defense of all the forces over there. No, melee defense and morale, I apologize. Confusing it with something else from the campaign. Been playing too much campaign recently. No, your archers will do jack shit over in that side. And there's another charge being feinted by the Capicodian cavalry. They're being baited into that attack over there. That is not going to go well. Here's this part over here. Not any kills whatsoever. Iberian Cav did come towards this side, and the Heroes of Sparta on this side are just getting absolutely annihilated with the side charges. the armored hoplites trying to stop the Galatian legionaries and the Galatian swords from charging into the side of the Spartans, but that is not the case. The noble fighters are not doing well. The Spartan Spartan pikemen and Spartan heroes of Sparta are managing to counter these noble fighters, but again they're losing men, but they're killing really expensive men as well. Archers are shooting, getting a really good volley into these light melee cav, but that is not the target you want to be fighting. Your archers should be here firing at an angle, or over here firing at an angle into these noble fighters, into these Galatian swords. Galatian swords would really die quickly. Get your archers, put them on the side and attack. You should be assaulting over here from 3 different angles. Dude, you should even take your troops out, come out back here, kill these guys. Get on the walls and assault the rear. These Semite warriors will not hold. They're very depleted and damaged. There are a couple of Ochvornias, but come on, you can do this. The defense seems to be holding for now. The Cappadocian cavalry is doing what it can, but I did hear a ballista shot, and the ballista shot is being fired point blank, almost range, into these veteran spears, and the Ochvorn unit over here not doing very well. Nabatean cavalry is moving in, but it's too little too late, once again giving chance for the attackers to get into position, and although they are breaking some of these units, there's only so much they can do. Noble fighters charging in over here against sword followers for pretty much. Wait, did they pull the noble fighters from here? No, they did not. These noble fighters are almost dead. These noble fighters, however, are going to get a really good trade-off against. They have battle rhythm, and they go berserk. They will break. The general is charging in as well from this side. The Ochvorn general and the noble fighters from general will be equals there. The assault was slightly pushed back. Their thorax pikes are engaged. The Galatian noble horse is breaking through, but there is the last stand of the veteran spears. 45 bonus versus large, and that unit is going to start being shredded, and it stays there for prolonged combat. It in fact retreats. There needs to be some movement of those ex-warriors into that location. What is Nabatea doing? The forces need to come here and need to defend there. There's nothing they can do from this side. They need to move in and defend that location. There's enough to hold the line here, and that's all you want to do. Hold the line as long as humanly possible, because that is the job that you have. The defense, I mean, is nigh on impossible to hold at this point, yes, but with proper movements and hey, finally one of the onagers is caught on fire. They are down are up to 400 kills. They are destroying the last line of the defense of the defenders. One ballista is down, and that's another ballista catch fire. Another ballista catches fire, but it is almost out of ammunition. 400 kills, and that is very good for an onager over there. Another volley comes in, and they're still shooting point blank range, killing dozens in every kill. The Ochvorn over here is doing its best to kill as much as possible. Noble fighters are, however, breaking through. The general for the Spartans is somehow still alive, even though all of that happened. Galatian legionnaires on the bridge, doing exactly what the defenders should have done. Just one unit of shield wall formation over there. Nothing will break through it. They cannot be flanked. They cannot be shot at from various angles. Just holding here, you won't be able to be missed with. I'm not sure why are they capturing that location over there, but one will have to see. Nabatean is sending in the last reserves. It has from this location without weakening this area too much. Carthage is sending in mercenary Semite warriors, and this is we've been talking a lot about how the defenders are making a mistake, and this is a mistake from the attackers. At this point, this is where Carthage should have left some reserves. Attacks from this side, and the defense would be over. Attack from that side. Arveni should have assaulted here as hard as it could. With these units is more than enough, and combine like 4 or 5 units of Carthage from there, 4 units, 5 units of Arveni from here, while this assault is going on. Galatia did not need that much help. These Galatian legionnaires are making it through. The hoplites were a bit too late. The arrow fire is helping, but it is a little too late. In this scenario, Nabatea is holding in place because it cannot give up the flanks of the Ochvorn unit, which is their main damage dealer. The cavalry is coming back, the spears are coming back, but the noble horse is moving across, and the Galatian legionnaires have moved across. the light bowmen over there are going to get picked off really easily, and they've lost once again the bridge that they fought so hard to catch. The light horse charges into these Galatian legionnaires, trying to block the gap that has formed. Nabatea desperately holding on to this line. They did get a sandwich on these Samite warriors. There's no support from these chosen swords. There is a support from the Scutarii, however. I'm not sure what Arveni is doing. Arveni should charge in at this point. Or is Arveni just... I know there was a fighter that got disconnected because this game was lagging so much and it took so long, so I'm not entirely sure what is happening. Could be that Arveni did disconnect at this point, and that if that is the case, that would be I would be very sad for the attackers, because Arveni has the majority of the forces and the defenders would be able to just wait it out, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Galatia is doing a really good job. The B battalion is stinging. I didn't know which one it was. I just picked one randomly from the pool that wasn't yet covered, and I just decided to cover it, which is absolutely great. And I guess this is what we have right now, and they're just letting this cavalry come in. They do get a counter charge into these noble horse. There is arrow fire being shot at, trying to kill the general for Galatia. The defense is struggling to hold. Boom. The defense is struggling to hold against the onslaught. They are stretched to their limits. There is not much more they can do. Arveni is sending in the Celtic Giant Ballista. Perhaps Arveni is just waiting? I do not know. The general was pushed back slightly at the great cost to this noble cavalry, which is trying to take the opportunity to rear charge into these Galatian legionnaires. If they break this unit over here, even at the cost of their own general, it could mean very good things. The Cretan archers over here are trying to hold against these Galatian legionnaires. Heroes of Sparta, along with some arrow fire, should be more than enough to push back this noble horse general. The defense is somehow holding on. I don't think they have enough to be able to defend against all of this, but they are holding on and putting on a show unlike any other. Nabatea is once again collapsing under the weight of the attack, and it is insane. The arrow fire going in, this general is breaking. It seems that the defense somehow is pushing back the assault by some miracle. I wonder what Arveni is doing. At this point, Arveni is the main balance of power holder for the attackers, and that's the only thing that they have left. Okay. Are these Levy Freemen getting triggered? No, it genuinely seems as if this person has gone AFK, and that would be very, very sad if this is the case. The Galatians have been wiped out. Galatia has been wiped out. General has died. The assault over here failed. They've held that assault, and there is not much left for the attackers to do. I mean, unless Arveni charges in. Why isn't Arveni charging in? This is oh wow. Okay, one more charge into the fray. The Semite warriors did break through. The Semite warriors could wipe out all the remainder of here, and desperate last stand, trying to capture the center of this settlement. Galatia is trying to hold as many troops as possible here. These guys have killed so many. The general, Nabatean general over there, is doing his thing, and I believe that unfortunately the Arveni player has disconnected, and the Arveni player still has more than enough to completely surround and kill the remainder of the defenses. The defenses are completely burnt out. They have nothing left that can hold against that force. This is this is such an unfortunate fight. This is such an unfortunate fight for the B battalion. Unless they are purposefully not assaulting yet, but I mean, these units have not been touched, they have not moved in a long time. There's Chosen Swordsmen, so there's 2 Chosen Swordsmen full health, 3 Level Freemen over here, Celtic Warriors, Chosen Swords, Oathsworn, they're all really good health. That's it. I mean, the defenders have nothing left. Just one push is all that's needed. This is, I mean, there's only Scutaria unit left, and I mean even that unit is just, there's nothing they can do. There's more ammunition left for the defenders, and this is such a unfortunate set of circumstances. I am lost for words. It was such an amazing attack assault as well. I've rarely seen assaults effective as this, and you know, the momentum kept going. There's stopped slightly, but then stopped here, and I understand why it stopped now, because they ran out of 1/3 of their force, got jammed in place, couldn't fight. This is unfortunate for the defenders. Sorry, the attackers. The Scutarii are charging in, and I mean, they could kill a couple of units, but they are surrounded, and they're fighting units who did gain chevrons, and they are being attacked in the rear. They're running away now. I think they're trying to bait them to attack the... I think they're trying to trigger the Arvana player to charge in. The Arvana, because all it needs is to just charge in. Even if it piles up, it'd be more than enough to win the fight. And it seems the defense is more than happy to just sit it out and wait it out. Their troops are very, I mean, this troop is healthy, this troop is half health, this troop is half health, this troop is gone, this troop is almost half health, this troop is gone, Celtic Bowman, General is dead, there's a General Sparta left alive, General is dead for Nabatean archers. I mean, this one still has ammunition, but just all of these units are depleted except the archers. So this is genuinely unfortunate. These Scutarii could potentially cut through all of this, because they do have decent attack and decent armor penetration, but there's only so much they can kill. I think this is game. This is such a turn of events when the gods are on your side. Total Rage Makers win this fight because of a DC. Absolutely incredible. I'm gonna be point blank and say they did not deserve this win. They did fight a very good defense, but they were completely outclassed by the attackers over in this case. Completely outclassed. Completely outclassed. I wonder what is the result of the third battle, because I believe there is a third battle that still had to be held, or was held yesterday. I am not entirely sure. I haven't been following the tournament updates very closely. Just simply so much stuff has happened in the past few days, but I will update myself as soon as possible. This game, I'm in disbelief. I'm in absolute disbelief. Costly victory. Andrew. Taco Bell Burns, Ospurgent, and Sindor. I mean, these guys, except Nabatea, Sparta, and the Boyai, really and truly, I have to be honest, they were completely outclassed by the B-Man himself. And Surkait, he only lost 600 men, and he had so much left. 2 full Oathsworn unit, 6 full... Oh Wow. 6-foot chosen swords. He genuinely only lost to Levi Freeman. His bows. This is absolutely incredible. And Carthage. Carthage is doing wonders with the troops it had. Especially that onager. Granted, the archers could have used a little bit better. That is incredible. Absolutely. And there's nothing left for defense. Sparta was dead. Nabatea just had archers and 2 units of hoplites. And there was nothing left for the boyai. Wow. Guys, I hope you'll enjoy this. This was this was a game and a half. I've been left speechless. It's a long time since a game has left me speechless, even though now I'm talking at very fast straight once again, because what, you know, I'm Linksy. I hope you are all well. If you did enjoy this, please subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Giveaway at 400 subs, as always, at the 100th sub mark. And yeah, like the video if you did like it. Share it with your friends. Tell people about it. This was a game worth talking about. Anyway, guys, thanks for everything. I hope to see you around. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.